When should you castrate or spay your cat? Are there any side effects to early neutering, or is early age desexing the best thing you could do for your cat? Hi, I'm Dr. Alex Avery from ourpetshealth.com, helping you and your cat to live a healthier, happier life. So if you want your cat to be as healthy as possible, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification down below. So we castrate and spay our cats for many different reasons. The big benefits to your cat and us as their owners are many. And the first is a reduction in fighting. So cats are very territorial, even more so when sexually intact. And this leads to increased fighting over resources, be that land, food or mates. So next is elimination of pyometra risk. So pyometra is a life-threatening infection of the uterus. Not many studies though have looked at this in cats specifically, and so we tend to consider it in the same way that we do with dogs. I've done a thorough review of the emergency pyometra up here and linked down below. So next is a reduced risk of FIV and FeLV. So these are viral diseases that have no treatment and result in the early death of cats. There are vaccinations available, but these are not 100% protective. They are often spread by fighting, and the local risk really does vary by region. So if you can reduce fighting, you can reduce the risk of catching these fatal diseases. Reduced roaming is next, and so getting lost or injured on the road. Looking for a mate can take a cat a long way from home. The further they go, the higher the risk of having an accident becomes. Reduced spraying and marking behaviour is my next benefit of spaying and castration. Entire cats are very territorial and will mark everywhere. So urine being sprayed in the house is unpleasant, and scratching every surface in sight can cause a lot of damage to your house and carpet. Elimination of calling when a female is looking for a mate is next. And this can be very noisy and disrupting, and if you don't know what to expect, it actually does cause a lot of emergency calls to the vet, with people worried that their pet's in a lot of pain. And that's because they cry loudly, they roll around on their back on the ground, and they can look very distressed. So that's another big benefit of getting your cat spayed. And then a reduction in general stress is the next benefit of spaying or castrating your cat. So constantly looking over your shoulder for competitors or feeling you need to be continually marking your territory all the time is a stressful business. Your cat will be a lot more relaxed if you eliminate these behaviours. And so the last big benefit of neutering your cat is a reduction in the number of kittens looking for new homes. If there is one thing that cats are good at, and I believe they're good at lots of things, it is getting pregnant and producing kittens. So did you know that over half of cats admitted to animal shelters are kittens? Now you might think that if your cat had kittens, you'd easily be able to find homes for them. They're super cute, everyone would want them. But unfortunately this is not always the case, and it's not always that simple. And I know how hard it can be, as we often end up having to rehome stray kittens at the vet clinic, and it can sometimes take a really long time to find them homes, even when they're incredibly cute, well-behaved and friendly. This shows in the figures too, with over 40% of kittens coming from owned cats. So that's 40% of all kittens in shelters are coming from unintentional breeding of pet cats whose owners could not then find them a new home. As much as I would like to say that all of these cats then found forever homes, the reality is sadly that around 30% of shelter cats are euthanized, and that is a huge proportion and a huge number of cats. So the traditional age for a cat spay or castration is 5 to 6 months. Now this is fine if it actually gets done then and your cat stays indoors until that point. The age of sexual maturity though can be as young as 4 months of age, and this clearly leaves a window of opportunity for your cat to get pregnant if they are female, or to start competing and fighting for the attention of any entire female in the neighbourhood if your cat is male. Why then not neuter your cat earlier? Well, early age neutering is endorsed by many international organisations, including the British Small Animal Veterinary Association and Australia's Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. The American Veterinary Medical Association also currently recommends that cats not intended for breeding should be desexed before 5 months of age. Ideally, to reduce the euthanasia of healthy but unwanted kittens though, we would go a step further and castrate or spay all cats before about 16 weeks of age. That is, before they become sexually mature. But what are the potential side effects of being spayed or castrated if you're a cat? And does the age at which this takes place actually make any difference? Well, concerns are often voiced by veterinary staff, and they include increased anaesthetic risk, the development of low blood glucose, which can be very dangerous and even fatal, and finally orthopedic, so that's bony problems. So let's address these as well as some of the other problems that people have suggested develop either after neutering in general or after early age desexing. Now, starting with anaesthetic deaths, In several studies, there is just no difference in death rate with those undergoing the procedure from as early as 7 weeks to those cats being neutered and anaesthetised as adults. Several different anaesthetic techniques have also been looked at, and all that were studied were found to be safe. So there is a risk with every anaesthetic and surgical procedure, but in reality this risk is very low at around 0.1%, and the age at which a cat is neutered doesn't seem to affect this risk. In fact, those cats neutered earlier actually seem to develop fewer minor surgical complications. Let's look at orthopaedic or skeletal issues next. So we know in dogs that if they are neutered too early, then they may be at an increased risk of developing joint problems. It doesn't appear cats are the same. For a start, they very seldom develop cruciate ligament rupture, and if they do, it is generally because of a traumatic incident. They also rarely suffer from dysplasia or abnormal development of their joints. Something else that has been put forward is the fact that neutered animals may be more likely to suffer from broken bones. Well, the short answer is that this is not true in the studies that have looked into this. It does seem that the growth plates stay open for longer in cats that are neutered, but there is no evidence that this then causes any health problems. Next, let's consider urinary tract disease. And again, quite simply, there doesn't appear to be any association, certainly in male cats castrated earlier or later. Older cats and those that are fat are at a higher risk, with castrated males living longer and tending to be more overweight, and so that's why maybe castrated males are more overrepresented, but age at castration doesn't appear to play a role in this. Finally, does early age desexing affect a cat's behaviour? Well, again, no. In one study, those neutered earlier had increased hiding behaviour, but this wasn't found in a separate study, and in both there was no difference in spraying, in fearful behaviour or in aggression. So the bottom line is that it appears there are many benefits of being spayed or castrated as a cat, but very few downsides of being neutered. Perhaps the only one being the risk of surgery itself. As for when you should neuter your cat, well, I think it should definitely be done by 6 months of age. And if your vet prefers to carry out the operation when your cat is 3 or 4 months old, then that is absolutely fine. There doesn't appear to be any increase in risk at this age. They may actually experience fewer complications, and your cat will be guaranteed not to be contributing to the global population of unwanted kittens. As always with anything like this, you should discuss all of your options with your vet. There may be other health considerations to consider before deciding on the best course of action for your particular cat, and with any surgical procedure, surgeon experience and preference is a major consideration. So I hope this clears up the best age to neuter your cat or eases any concerns about the side effects of neutering that you might have. But what are your thoughts? Please leave me a comment down below. I'd really love to read them. Also, remember to subscribe for more videos aimed at optimising the health of your cat. And until next time, I'm Dr. Alex from Our Pets Health, because they're family.